The best podcasts picked fresh for you. This is Podcast Pick on East Coast Radio.
Guys, this was recommended to me by our very own Pablo Fitilis.
Oh.
And he said, give it a listen. It's called The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling. You can find it wherever you listen to your podcast. I'm only halfway through the second episode. It's a storytelling documentary. But if you've at any point in your life canceled J.K. Rowling, because this is the thing. They call it The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling because when Harry Potter first came out, you remember it was a certain group of people that thought that in actual fact, they were book burnings.
Yes.
And then 2 decades later, she makes some tweets that upset another group of people. There was repeat book burnings. How many times must you be cancelled / have your books burned in one lifetime? So the trials of J.K. Rowling cover this entire journey, and it doesn't favor one perspective over the other. Yeah,
okay.
It's a really interesting take on this phenomenon we now know as cancel culture. So the Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling is my podcast pick for this week. What you
Nice. I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm picking Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast by Amanda Hirsch. Have a listen.
You know the actor Jeremy Allen White, who was in Shameless. He was now in The Bear. So it was just announced that him and his wife, they've been together since he was 14 years old. They were 14, just announced for divorce. And now I just read that she filed. And I feel like when somebody files, you can kind of start deducing what happened. No?
It's really hard to do that because sometimes people want to run out to the courthouse and file first.
Yeah.
But really, there's no advantage to it.
Huh?
So, yeah, Amanda Hirsch, she is Not Skinny But Not Fat on Instagram as well. She shares her hot takes on entertainment news, celebrities, pop culture, and she interviews a lot of favorite celebrities. She's interviewed almost every Kardashian, Eva Longoria, whoever's in Hollywood that's doing the things she chats to.
Yeah.
Each podcast is about 45 minutes long, and if you're interested in entertainment news and scandal in Hollywood and pop culture, this is for you.
Okay, Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast by Amanda Hirsch. I'll look out for that.
Yeah, I love that one. And now our guest podcaster who will tell us about her own podcast.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Lesedi Mogoatlhe, and I'm the host of a podcast called Radio Workshop. It's a character-driven narrative podcast about real and personal experiences of young people across the African continent. And you should listen if you want to hear stories about Africans told by Africans that take you into places that are often overlooked in international media and report on African issues in ways that are more complex and nuanced and true to how we know our lives to be.
Yeah, so that is Lesedi, and there's also a frequently asked questions section where you can send us a email to breakfast@ecr.co.za and we'll give it to the experts. And this week, Lesedi shares some of those questions about podcasting.
People will ask, what is narrative podcasting? And for us, it essentially means a podcast that follows the traditional principles of what makes a good story. A beginning, middle, and end. It's about a series of events. There's a story arc. We start somewhere, go on a journey, and hopefully land up somewhere that surprises us. We feel connected when we listen because we're represented in the characters or the themes.
Well, there you go. Those are our podcast picks for the week. Go with all of them or the one that you think is your favorite.
The best podcasts picked fresh for you. It's Podcast Pick on East Coast Radio.
Right, still on the way. I'm going to tell you about... I'm really...